Hi, everybody. I'm back for another live stream. Yes, indeed. Two in one day today. Let's go. I'm raring to go, I hope. Anyway, yes, indeed. I'm here for maybe 2 hours or so. Who knows? Could be an hour, could be an hour and a half. Let's put it this way, 2 hours max. I don't think it'll go past two hours or so, at the very lengthiest. All right. So, what's going on? What's changed around here? What's new since this morning? Hello, Arizona Mick. Oh, out the tour. I haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on? And yeah, let me get those old glasses ready because again, I can't see a thing on the top of these. I got to keep the bottom. Is there a way I could like scotch tape them like this? Do you think if I could scotch tape the glasses like that, it would be great. If they fall down like that, no can do. Keep my head up like this the whole time. Hello, CD man. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. That's all right. I wonder if anybody will come up tonight. We'll see. I don't know. Again, if anybody wants to know what's going on with Danny, I'm sure I'll be repeating. Danny is a landlord, and he's got more than one property to tend to, and he had to go over. There was a problem, I think, with the hot water at some place, so he had to go over there and take care of business and wait for the people to fix it and all this other kind of stuff. So, Arizona Mick says big storm heading this way. You mean in Arizona, right? Because once again, I'll repeat this again. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up, the fest for Beatles fans in New York, and the weather report is cooperating. And weather report says 50 degrees. Now they're saying rain likely on Monday. So for a while they were saying Saturday. Now they're saying Monday. So anyway, the main thing I'm concerned with is there's no snow. That's the main thing. So it looks like it's going to happen. And I'm still looking forward to it. It's getting closer, as McCartney once sang with Wings. Uh, yeah, Joseph Mantaneo. Hello, you're going to be there, right? He says, He says, great weather for this weekend. Yeah, weather's supposed to be good. I got lucky because, like I say, when I heard them announce this thing a year ago or whatever it was, I thought to myself, "Oh, they're taking quite a chance. They're taking quite a chance." But I'm glad that it's going to be working out. So, well, that part is working out at least. We're not getting snow. Let's put it that way. All right. So I'm relying on a lot of you to drive the narrative here today, depending what questions or comments you make. Which, as I say very often, I don't address everything. We can't talk about just anything and everything. There's stuff that's off the table, but you know the deal. Yeah, and I just hope that we can get somebody else to share the spotlight with me at some point. So this morning I had Robert P on. That's unusual. I don't usually have Robert P up with me. I'm one of just the two of us. Usually we have other people, but Robert P was up this morning, and that was fun. And of course, the video of that live stream is now up. You can check that out at your leisure if you're so inclined. So try that out. I'd appreciate it if people would be I can't say cognizant of the, and I got it, cognizant the mindful of the likes. If you want to do the likes button, hit the likes. Appreciate that. Thumbs up. Joseph says, missed you last night on Talk More Talk. Yeah, I had a situation where I could not go on the show. It has to do with my girlfriend's work situation. And she worked later than she expected, and I was stuck. They had to wait for her, and then I had to drive her home. Then she had to make some stops at a bank. There's a lot of things, and I just knew I wasn't going to be able to make it. So it didn't work out. And then we wound up hitting a little bit of traffic to put the cherry on the cake. So it wasn't exactly a good situation. It was not lost on me in the playback that my co-hosts did not mention where I was or what happened to me. They didn't say like why Joe's not here, but somebody in the comments, I think it was Woodland Goblin, actually said in the comments, "So where's Joe at?" And upon that time, it was explained a little bit. Hello, Chrissy. Thanks for joining us again. And I should be here, folks, tomorrow morning to do my morning cup of Joe with my peppermint tea, my routine. I should be doing that. I'm just wondering how Danny's doing with his situation with the house. I just hope that's going all right, and I hope he can join us. But whenever he can, whenever he gets this problem ironed out, you know. So okay. As you know, a lot of times, when I'm up here at this area, I work from my phone. I don't use a laptop. I usually use my laptop at home when you see me in my room. But when I'm here, what I'm doing is I am using my phone, my smartphone, uh, Samsung, and I therefore have to do this. I have to scroll comments like this, and I don't like to mess around with too many of them. But as the show progresses, I'm sure I will be highlighting some comments here and there, but I'm trying just to respond to y'all right now without highlighting the comments. So it makes it a little easier for me. I like StreamYard because in StreamYard you're able to do that. You're able to put the comments on the screen. And when you put the comments on the screen, thereby for future viewers, you're kind of immortalized on screen, your comment for a future video. Right? I see Amy's joining us. Hello, Amy. Good to see you. Um, so we're getting set for the Beetle Fest. I'm very excited about it. I think I'm going to go for the haircut. I was going to go with long hair. I'm only talking about this stuff because there's nothing else to talk about. Right? Trying to like milk it, But I'm probably going to get the haircut and all that. It's just easier. It's just so much easier, to deal with. So I will have a video up tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the 60th anniversary of the Beatles arriving at Kennedy Airport, even though it wasn't called Kennedy Airport at the time. But yeah, we're going to be doing a short. I already shot it. Let's put it that way. I already recorded it. It's just that I have to put it up tomorrow morning for February 7th. So there you go. Can't believe it's 60 years, folks. 60 years. And we're going to do that. Hello to Mike's Got the Spins. Hi, Mike. And also, I'm going to be doing an interview tomorrow. I'm going to be recording an interview tomorrow in the afternoon with Steve Mayo, who did a book on the Beatles movies called Act Naturally. And I'm supposed to be talking to him tomorrow. And once we record that, I'll put it up. So there you have that. Jack Daniels, what's up? When you think of the three of the greatest American music acts, who comes to mind first? Elvis Presley comes first, I guess. Artists that epitomize American music, specifically American. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I think Elvis Presley, the Beach Boys, there are two. I'm talking about American, Americana, that kind of thing. There's other people. There were a lot of other people I could mention for the third, but I think maybe Bob Dylan. I mean, Bob Dylan, Elvis Presley, the Beach Boys, maybe. Amy wants to know, will I be doing streams from Beetle Fest? I'm going to try my hardest. Yeah. Usually when I go to the Beetle Fest, I usually do a live stream or two from there, and it's always fun with the atmosphere around. But a lot of it also depends on the music, because you might hear a lot of music. Sometimes the music is so loud that you can't really hear anything. But I hope to do a live stream. Yeah. So let's hope that works out all right. And if I do, I hope you'll be here to check it out because I know you're a big Beatles fan. Mm. Don't they stream the Beatle Fest from the main room? I don't know what happens. There's some kind of virtual fest thing where you can watch the fest virtually on Zoom or something like that. And I don't really know how that works out, honestly. With the Beatle Fest, there's all kinds of rooms. There's not just one room. There's a lot of rooms. So there are a lot of rooms. Hello, Mike Bass. What's going on? Do you plan on doing Name That Tune and trivia this year? Always enjoy that. Thanks. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's funny. Last year I said I was not going to do it, and then when I went there, they needed somebody else on. I think it was Friday night. They were just warming up, and they didn't have. They wanted a third person because nobody would. They have volunteers. People in the audience raise their hand and say they want to be contestants, and they needed another contestant. Everybody was too shy, so I said, "All right, I'll do it." I don't know, but so anyway, maybe, maybe not. I'll see. I'll see how the mood fits. The mood strikes me. You know. What year was my first Beatle Fest? Well, I didn't go to the Beatle Fest until 1981, after John, the first one after John was killed. It was in March of '81. He got killed in December. They had one in March, and uh, it was very, very. It was a much more crazy than it is today. There, it was much wilder there at the fest. Uh, I always enjoy watching you on the game show. Your knowledge of the Beatles is very impressive. Thank you. But as I always say, I know more about the Beatles than some people, and I know less than other people. You know, I mean, I'm always learning new Beatles factoids that I didn't know. Sal says they used to set up a camera in the back of the main ballroom where the interviews are, where the bands play. Well, like I say, they have rooms where the bands play. They have rooms where the interviews are. They have rooms where the trivia contests are. They have another room. They have different rooms everywhere. Woodland Goblin, hello. I want to thank you, Woodland Goblin. Last night on Talk More Talk in the comments for asking, where's Joe? Because they didn't say, you know, Ken, Kit, and Tom didn't say, Joe's not able to make it here, So I thank you in the comments for asking and then, getting a reply. But, you know, uh, are there any promo posters, advertisements you'd like to pick up? I got a brainwash poster when I went a few years ago. Well, that depends on what I see. I don't know. There's nothing specifically I'm looking for, but if I happen to see something, there you go. I'll pick it up. I don't go there specifically looking for anything, but if I see it, Amy asked an interesting question. Joe, were you always so chilled, or a bit of a hellraiser in your younger years? Well, I never considered me a hellraiser ever, but I always considered myself an average kid. I wasn't like a geek, and I wasn't like this, tough, whatever, macho guy. I was always in the middle. I'm an average kind of guy, you know. And no, I was. It's funny, when I was a kid, I was on the shy side. I was kind of shy, and what stuff like I'm doing now here, live with people and talking to people, going to the Beatle Fest and being on stage and stuff. I would never have dreamed of doing that when I was a kid. I was so shy. You know, but I got out of my bubble. I guess when I was around 18, 20, I started getting out of it. 18, 19, 20, I think. You know, Brian Bingham. Hello, Brian. By the you the one. Let's see, Brian Bingham. I've been Beatles. I can't read that. I've been Beatles cram since Beatles fan since February 9th, 60. A fan, I'm sorry. I've been a Beatles fan since February 9th. When I watched them perform on TV, I was only 11 years old. Lucky you. Bless you. Yeah, when the Beatles performed, I wasn't even 2 years old yet. When they were on Ed Sullivan, I was a year and 10 months old. So I didn't see them, or if I saw them, I don't remember seeing them. My mom had me sitting there. But anyway, yeah, that's really fantastic. Yeah. I was a Beatles fan since I watched their cartoon show in the '60s when I was like 5. That's when I started 4 or 5. I started really getting into them. So, oh, thank you so much. Appreciate this, Amy's helping me out with the super chat. Gas, since you're commuting to the fest. Yes, indeed. We are commuting to the fest. It'll actually be for the Uber because we're commuting to the fest, but we're going to be taking an Uber. So let's pay helps for the Uber. So thank you so much. And I hope I'm able to return the favor by giving you a lot of fun content. I hope that, if you can't be there, at least you'll enjoy the videos and you'll feel like you were there, hopefully. That's the goal. So let's try that out. Hope it works for you. Thank you, Amy. All right. What's on everybody's minds on this time? What time is it there for you? It's 7:17 p.m. here, Eastern. 7:17 at night. I'm sure for some people it's earlier. For some people it's quite late. If you're in England, it's after midnight. So there you go. Hello, Din and Jaron. I'm doing well. How are you? How long did it take for the power to come back at that restaurant? I don't know. We left. We left. We didn't stay. We stayed there for about 15 minutes and we said, well, what the hell? And we left. Yeah. So I don't know what Woodland Goblin is asking about there. So I don't understand. Anybody know what that was that I was whistling? It wasn't very good. Did I finish The Odd Couple? We are on the last disc of the last season. We're almost done. It's sad because I really enjoyed it. I don't care about Taylor Swift's new album, no, but I know a lot of her fans do. Did you ever see Denny Lane at a Beatle Fest? Yes, I did. I got his autograph a couple of times. I got 3 times actually. I I must have seen him a couple of times because I would never I wouldn't ask for that many autographs on one pop. So I probably saw him a couple of times there. What kind of sneakers did I wear in the 80s? Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember. I didn't wear sneakers in the 80s. I wore sneakers in the 70s when I was a kid. I didn't wear sneakers in the 80s, I don't think. Probably wore Keds. I don't know. Sal says, I saw Denny Lane many times, including at Westbury a few years ago. Yeah, I know he was playing a gig. I mean, no offense to Denny Lane. I just wasn't interested in seeing him solo or anything. I like him as part of Wings, but I wasn't interested in seeing him by himself. Um, but yeah, got to see him at the best for Beatles fans. Okay, so who's out there? Anybody out there? Where's Tim Allen been? Tim Allen has been kind of quiet lately. He hasn't been on Doc's chat. I hope everything's all right with Tim. Hello, Beetle Eddie. Good evening. And I put a link up at the beginning, but I don't know how long the link stays fresh. Where you got to put a new link up. Mr. Beatles Pro Tom, I'm gonna miss you at the fest. I'm still looking for that time, man, when we can meet each other. And I know you do the Chicago Fest. But again, I don't know if I'm going to go to Chicago or not. But now, of course, lately I've been thinking maybe. It depends on how it goes and how the money holds up. I couldn't believe Don's original reaction to your jacket. I'm sorry, the questions are moving here. Has he warmed up to it? I haven't seen Don since I gave him the jacket. I don't know if he's wearing it or not. Is there any item you're looking for specifically at the fest, Joe? No, what I do is I go there and if I see something that catches my eye, I buy it. I don't think I'm going there looking to buy anything specific. I have to see something. The Odd Couple was funny, both the movie and the TV show. Tony Randall was great as Felix. Jack Klugman was good Oscar. Don't you agree? Do I agree? I think they're the fantastic. I think Klugman and Randall were the best Oscar and Felix ever, and that includes the TV show. I like them much better than Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, although I like Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon too. My W-2s finally came today for my pension. Takes forever to get these out. My taxes are done. Well, that's what I wanted to ask you too. Is it normal? Because I'm still waiting for my pension one to come from the post office thing and all that. It's not here yet. I mean, it's not uncommon for it to go into February, right? I mean, usually I thought they got to be here by the end of January, but okay, we got a little bit of Brian is offering a little bit of information. Uh, Mr. Beatles Pro says hopefully it will work out. That's about us hopefully getting to see each other and meet and say hi at a Beatle Fest one of these times. You know, I mean, if the money is right and I have the money, and if the Beatle Fest looks like it's pretty decent, maybe I'll do the Chicago thing. I don't know. I always feel I've never been to a Chicago Fest, and I feel like if I was going to go to one, it should be this one. It should be the 60th if I'm going to go to any of them. Yeah, the W-2s have to be mailed by the end of January, but boy, it's February 6th and I still didn't get it. So there you go. And what else can I say, folks? Not much. Please hit the like button, thumbs up. Appreciate it. Mr. Beatles Pro says he did the New York, New Jersey Fest way back in 2004. Yeah, it's 20 years ago. Wow, it's hard to believe 2004 is 20 years ago. That is really tough to believe, but it is. Did you like Billy Joel's new song? Yes, I did. I only heard it once. And I first, when it started, I thought it was kind of on the slow side. I'm like, oh, that might be too slow. And then as he sang it, I thought, first of all, his voice sounded great for 75. His voice sounds good. And it had a lot of power, a lot of conviction, a lot of strength to the song. And I think I like the lyrics, but maybe better than the music, but I liked it. Amy says, hopefully your regulars will support you to go to the Chicago Fest. Well, hopefully, Amy, but as I say, I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to go, one way or the other, I mean, it's a whole bunch of things too, if I go, I'd like to go with somebody, either my friend Robert S. might go, I'm putting him on the spot, or, maybe Miss Mayo would go. And, I just don't want to. I don't like flying alone, and I'm not wild about flying in general. I really am not. Okay, B. Letty saw the ranking of 13 Beatles albums. They had it all wrong. Said they are ranking the U.S. albums. They ranked the UK Yellow Submarine in at 10th. Okay, gotcha. Yes, I did know about that. George Harrison visited his sister in America. Well, not a year before the Ed Sullivan Show, just 5 months before. I think it was just 5 months. I think. Yeah, he shopped at the guitar store, played on stage. Yeah, he said he said that he went back and said it's terrible over there. Nobody even knows us. They don't know us over there at all. And I saw a picture the other day that I'd never seen before of George from I think it was September of '63 in color, and he was on the top of the Empire State Building. He was visiting the top of the Empire State Building, and nobody knew who he was. He's standing there, and nobody's paying any attention to him. This is like just 5 months before they were on Ed Sullivan. Yes, Jeff Davidson says, rest in peace, Toby Keith. I feel bad about that. I have to be honest with you. I didn't know Toby Keith. I didn't know of him until I heard the news today. I don't follow country. Yeah. That is a cool story about George, visiting America. Nobody knows who he is because the Beatles didn't make it yet. And within 5 months, they would be so fanatical over George, they would have torn him to pieces. Any bootlegs at the fest? They're not allowed to sell bootlegs at the fest. They used to sell them in the 80s. I bought some bootlegs there in the 80s, but they don't sell them here anymore. Hi, Paulina. What's going on? The first two times George went to America, he came back home with new Rickenbacker guitars. Yeah, I guess he was there twice in America then. Would I rank Yellow Submarine ahead of Beatles for Sale? No way. No way. No way. Not a chance. Yeah, that's another thing that I got to be reminded of that. I was not. I'm just mumbling to myself. I was thinking I have to remember all the things I need to take with me to the fest. There are a lot of things I got to take. I don't want to forget. I really don't want to forget. There's lots of things I could possibly forget. That's funny. Christian says you'd think that George would have liked that nobody knew him. That's a very good point, Christian, because George hated Beatlemania, hated all that stuff. It just shows you how people are. He was miserable because nobody knew him. He was miserable because nobody knew the Beatles then. Then they got famous, and then he wanted to be obscure again. People are never satisfied, I swear. Did you sell your Kiss albums? Yes, I did. I just saw a short documentary on YouTube calling the Beatles for sale a misstep. It's not a misstep. They're trying everything to try to tear them down a little bit. As we know, most bands would be grateful to have Beatles for Sale as their best album. Richard James says, Joe, it's my across the street neighbor's finances promotion day, and he got the promotion to celebrate. He wants to hear This Never Happened Before, please. Well, I don't know about that song. I don't really know the words, so this never happened to me before. Something like that. I don't know. This never happened to me before. Tim Jackson, I'm happy that the Beatles won a Grammy for that video with the artist painting. Yeah, I'm only sleeping. Yes, indeed. 1,300 oil paintings video. I'm only sleeping. The Beatles are still doing it. They're still winning awards. It's great. I'm sure next year they'll win something for Now and Then. Yes, I think Beatles for Sale is a very good album. Just that the Beatles had so many great albums, something's got to be lower. I have a shrink wrap Back to the Egg with the hype sticker. I'm going to decide, should I take the shrink off and get the LP signed, or leave the shrink on and not get it signed? Joseph, you're asking me. I don't want to be the one to make that decision. Personally, I think you should get it signed. It depends. If autographs are important to you, I definitely think you should have Lawrence Juber and Steve Holly sign it. I would take it off the shrink off with the hype sticker. I'm sorry to say it. How much I love the hype stickers to advertise the album originally, but it looks really nice. They'll sign it with a silver marker or a gold marker against the black background. It'll be nice. I have one signed by Lawrence Juber, Steve Holly, and Denny Lane. So, what George did was report back to the others that America was not going to be easy to conquer. But after Ed Sullivan, everybody knew they dominated America. Yep, just like that. I wonder if I could take the shrink off and put it back on. Well, that happens too. You could do that too. And that's a good point. Mr. Beatlesboro says, just go get another Back to the Egg. They're cheap. Yeah, well, you're at the show. You can find Back to the Egg. That's a good point. I did that one year, actually. What I did was, a good point. Denny Sywell was there, and he played on the Ram album. So I went into the dealer's room and I found a cheap, like $3 or $4, $5 copy of Ram. It was in the bins, the cheap bins, and I got that and I had him sign that. So that's probably the best. That's the best choice. You know what you do, Joseph? Bring it with you. Bring it with you. Don't take the shrink off until the very last minute, and see if you can get a hold of a cheap copy in the dealer's room first. How's that? And as Paulina says, whatever you do, preserve the hype sticker at least. Carefully take it off the shrink. Whatever you do, keep the hype sticker. Which Wings album would you use for autographs? Back to the Egg. Well, for Lawrence Juber and Steve Holly, yeah, definitely you do Back to the Egg. Hello, Patrick Sweden. What's going on? 90 minutes past midnight in Europe. Oh man, nice to see Mr. Beatles Bro here. Wow, it's late over there. I'm gonna put another invite link up if I can do this. Give me a second here. The first time I'm putting my arm up here. Gotta do it. I can't do it. I lost to the screen again. It happens. Hmm. Bingo. There you go. Band on the Run's 50th is out now. What do you predict the next release will be from the McCartney camp? I don't know, but I hope they'll release London Town and Back to the Egg on the Archives edition. We've been waiting for that for a long time. So I really hope that happens. But I'm not holding my breath. Well, Joe, I can't stump you on the Beatles because you know more than the average fan and read a lot. Yeah, but you never know. You can. I don't know everything about the Beatles. Like I said, I'm trying to be humble here. I know more than some, and I know less than others. That's really what it comes down to. Yes, Tim Jackson says the 12-inch Goodnight Tonight single would be good for signing too. I got them to sign that too. Yeah, I've seen these guys a lot of times. I have that signed by all three too. Denny Lane, Lawrence Juber, Steve Holly, the 12-inch Goodnight Tonight cover. Would you like the underdubbed version of Driving Rain? Well, if it came out, I'd probably add it to the collection, but it wouldn't be anything I'd be clamoring for. Let's put it that way. The next release from the McCartney camp will be a new album. Well, don't take that too official. I know, Eddie, they're talking about that. There's very strong talk that Paul's going to have a new album out in 2024, a new studio album. We'll see. With the Beatle Fest running over 40 years, to my knowledge, Paul and Ringo never made an appearance. No, they never did. Nope. I hear that John was maybe going to go to the first one, but he supposedly chickened out. That's part of at the last minute. That's what I heard. Um, I don't know. Call me crazy, but I don't think it's necessary for any of the Beatles to appear at the Beatle Fest. And a lot of people, it would have been nice, but it would be insane. It would be a crazy scene if they did. Yeah. The underdubbed. What does this say? Oh, I gotta get the thing ready. The underdubbed press to play songs will be amazing. Is that what you think?
Now this album, I just really, I just can't take it.
Hard to operate those clips here from here, but yeah, Pete Best was at the fest a couple of times. Why do you think Paul does not sing Yesterday anymore? The last time I saw him, he didn't do Yesterday. That was a shock. I don't know. Maybe his voice trying to reach it. I don't know. Hello, Marcus. Marcus Thompson. What's the good word? Did you know that Pete Best's mother owned the Cavern Club? Yes, her mother's name was Mona, Mona Best. That George got a black eye after Best was kicked out. Yes, the fans gave him a black eye when Ringo joined. There was a big skirmish when Ringo first was playing. Yeah, that's how he got the black eye. Yes, indeed. A little bit of trivia there, a little bit of Beatles trivia. Fun fact, I should call it fun facts. Oh, the Casbah. I'm sorry. I'm the Casbah. You're right. I knew that, but sometimes, Jesus Christ, I knew it was the Casbah. The Casbah Club. It's just that you're reading questions fast. Yes. Do I think Julian Lennon will ever tour again? I have no idea. No idea. Mark Rivera played for Foreigner and Billy Joel for many years. He is playing for Ringo now. He's played with Ringo for a long time. It's not new. He's been playing in the All Stars a long time. Yeah, it would be absolute pandemonium if one of the Beatles showed up at the fest. Didn't May Pang? Questions disappeared. Didn't May Pang attend in John's place the year he contemplated going? Well, she supposedly went there to pick up some rare bootlegs and things for like to buy some rare stuff and memorabilia and stuff for John. John was a Beatles fan. John was a big Beatles fan, but he was. I respect Jackie Gleason's refusal to do another honeymoon or season for quality control, but do you think it could have had the same longevity as I Love Lucy? Yeah, well, that's what's hard to believe. The Honeymooners only had 39 episodes, and every one of them is great. Every one of them is classic. Every one of them is iconic. And at the time, for whatever reason, they didn't continue. Jackie Gleason didn't want to continue. And for quality control, I think he said they were running out of ideas or something. I think it's crazy. If they had kept going on, they'd only be better and better, I think. Yes, Pete Best finally got some royalties from the anthology album. Yes, and I'm glad for him. Just goes to show you, sometimes if you stick around, even through hard times, and even though he was feeling suicidal and awful after he got kicked out of the Beatles, time heals wounds sometimes and pays off. So, who owned the Jacaranda Club? Was that owned by Alan Williams? Am I right about that? See, there's a question I may not know the answer to. Did Alan Williams own the Jacaranda Club? No, Mona Best. I know Mona Best was the who ran the Casbah. And Bob Wooler was the DJ at the Cavern. Um, I don't know for sure about that. I think Alan Williams. Ba, 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 ba. John Moreno. Hello. What's the good word? You still got like half a bottle of water left. The bottle is half full. Fix those glasses, bring them up again a little bit for a little bit anyway, until they fall down again. What's a good word, folks? What's the good word? Come on. Where's Tim Allen? He's been missing in action lately. Hope everything's okay. And I said about Danny, whatever's going on in another house that he's better go take care of. He hasn't been around either. So, and then Mr. Beatles Pro says it was Alan Williams who owned the Jacaranda. I think Ring. That's a good question. I think didn't Ringo first meet them in Germany? That's interesting. These are questions you think we know like the back of our hand. Never saw that before. No. Um. Let's go. Wait a minute. Where are we here? Did you hear the Decca tapes? The Beatles didn't sound that great on that. The songs, yeah, I've heard the Decca tapes many times. I agree with you. I think the songs they chose were poor. A lot of the songs they chose were terrible songs. I mean, terrible choices to perform on demos, uh, auditions, auditions, and yeah, and they didn't sound that good. You know, George probably sounded the best. Did Ringo first meet John, Paul, and George in England or Germany? I'm thinking it was Germany. If I'm wrong, holy cow! I don't even know about that for sure. Do you approve of Lost in Space being cropped in widescreen? No, I do not. I do not like when they do that. However, in the case of Lost in Space, believe it or not, I could be wrong about this. I'm trying to remember the commentary track I listened to. But I think Lost in Space, the TV show back then, was actually made in such a way that it could be cropped for widescreen too. They did it the standard square way, ratio for TVs back then. But they made it so that it could be later possibly done wide, I think. When am I going to do it for another Fab Gab show? Yeah, it's been a long time, Elvin. But actually, tomorrow I'm interviewing somebody, and when I finish the interview and I put it up there, I'm going to call it Fab Gab. So technically, my interview tomorrow is a Fab Gab show. Although I know what you mean. You want talking about the Fab Gab shows where I have people on and we rank songs, favorite songs, and all that. I'm going to try to do them. I'm going to try to do them this year. Hi, Lynette. So is Danny a real estate mogul? I don't know. Apparently, he has some properties. So I don't know. That's why he's not here. Um, Joe, I know it's not popular, but do you think George was wrong for always downing the Beatles, yet his enormous wealth was from them? I don't know if I could say he was wrong. That's why George is my least favorite. George, over the years since I was a child, the order of favorites of the Beatles has changed over the years. George is my least favorite primarily because of that now, because of how didn't want any part of it. He didn't like the fame. My nervous system was hurting. I don't like my nervous system, and all this kind of stuff. And all this stuff. He took the money, and I don't know, but I still love George. I love all the Beatles, but you know, okay. Yes, Ringo met the Beatles when he was playing with Rory Storm and the Hurricanes in Hamburg. Good. Whew! I got that right. There you go. People confirming Ringo met the Beatles in Hamburg. Are there lots of lights to get to that school you are at, or is it just a straight, nonstop, long hour sort of drive? Are there a lot of lights? No, it's not. There aren't lights. It's on highways and parkways and motorways, but the thing is, there can be traffic backup. Willing to give us a hint who you're interviewing? Well, I mentioned it a few times. You probably missed it. His name is Steve Matteo, and he's done a book on the Beatles' 5 movies called Act Naturally. He's an author. Hello, Glenn. Uh, George, also my least favorite, very grumpy at times. Yeah, well, Ringo could be grumpy too. Yeah, yeah, But yeah, George is the grumpiest. I don't need that. I love George, Paulina says, but he was very negative and lazy about things. Yeah, yeah. And if you watch George in the first U.S. visit, Mike says, he's the one who's keeping up to date with their chart performance. Yes. Have you ever met Danny in person? My friend Danny. No, never have. Not yet. Joe, which mummy is more deadly, the mummy from 31 or the mummy from 59? Well, not, the mummy from 1959, the Hammer film's mummy, is the deadliest of them all. None of the Universal mummies are as deadly as the 1959 uh, mummy. Hello, Penny Lane's here. Penny Lane, you're in my ears, you're in my eyes too. George got tired of the extreme fame. He was being followed and hounded as a Beatle. He said later a good day was not seeing his name in the papers. Like I said, if I don't blame him, a stalker almost killed him. Look, I told you, some people don't like me saying this. I'm very firm about this. If you want to be famous, You have to roll with the punches, and you got to understand that you're not. I'm talking about like a big star like Elvis and the Beatles. The Beatles wanted to be like Elvis. They wanted to be that famous. You better realize your privacy goes out the window. Better realize that. That's how I feel about it. You don't like it? Stay an electrician apprentice or whatever he was. Stay in the factory if that's how you feel about it. That's how I feel about it. I know sometimes people will say, well, some people don't realize it. Maybe they think they can handle it. Maybe they think fame and fortune is what they want. But once they get it, they realize, as George himself said, he said this. He realized, well, then you get famous and you realize, well, that's not it anyway. That's not it. You thought, but whatever. I have no patience for that kind of thing. I think it's a blessing. I think to make that many people happy, to love your music and your guitar playing and everything, to make that many people happy, you should be grateful, about it. Pisces can be grumpy. I know I'm one. Ronster says. So there you go. I mean, I'm sorry to be, it sounds so harsh, but I'm just being honest. I'm shooting from the hip. That's the way it is. Straight there. You know, I don't have any sympathy for people like that. I'm sorry. The stars that I don't want to be a star. Well, you should have thought of that before. And you know what? And if you didn't like it so much, you go into retirement, become a recluse. Don't make any more. I mean, now, the part about George being attacked in his home, that's terrible. That is a totally different thing. Uh, that shouldn't be part of it. Don't forget too, George was attacked in his home and the last day, December 31st, 1999. He only lived to 2001. George was grumpy and miserable and about his career way before he got attacked in his house. He was so grumpy in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, all through the 90s about it. My thoughts on the Brainwashed album by George. I think it's a really good album. I think it's a really good album. Maybe feels a tad too long, but I think it's a really good album, and I think it's an album that sometimes gets overlooked and forgotten by George. You know, I gotta give McCartney that. I gotta give Paul McCartney an applause. He says, Ralph says McCartney does an incredible job handling his fame. I don't know how he does it. Absolutely, absolutely. McCartney, one of the best compliments I'd ever pay the man, aside from his extraordinary talent, is the fact that the man is really good at handling his fame. And I think he's explained it before that he sees himself as two different people. Like when he's Paul McCartney, the celebrity, that's this other guy. And when he's not performing, he's just himself. He like separates the two. Yeah, that's what I feel, Paulina. He knew the industry he was going into off the bat and shouldn't have been surprised by what came of it. Did George ever date Stevie Nicks? I don't know, but lucky guy if he did. George was not into materialism, but yet he liked the money though. He always talked about money. There it is, but George loved spending the money. George was a huge spender. Absolutely. Don't give me that stuff. Everybody's always talking about John Lennon's line in Imagine no possessions. All that is imagination. Doesn't mean he's got to give up all his possessions to imagine it. But living in the material world, yeah. I hope to see much clear. Well, at least living in the material world, I guess he's trying to leave that stuff behind and move on to something less material. I think John said something similar about the extreme pressures of being a Beatle. Parents would literally expect the Beatles to help cure their sick children. Yeah, absolutely. That's insane fame, man. That adoration could be too much. Yeah, it could be. Absolutely. John was freaked out by that. Absolutely. George feared the tax man. Yeah. Let me know. I'm going to put this back in here. Let me know when my voice goes robotic, which is going to happen at some point. I'll try to fix that. I'll try to prevent my voice from going off. Elliot is here. Hello, Elliot. What's the good word? Has anyone, what's the story about Christina Applegate and George Harrison? I don't know what that is. I just saw a video where a new 2023 article in the Garden magazine made new information about Friar Park Garden. It's where George lived, right? Friar Park. I don't know about the details of that. Which George should we believe? The spiritual inner light one or the big estate and luxury George? Both. I think I believe him when he says that, the real satisfaction comes from within and spiritual and all that, not so much the money and all that. Did your girlfriend enjoy Night of the Living Dead? No. Unfortunately, we saw it, and after it was over, she said, quote, "That's 90 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back." And she said, also, quote, "Just not my cup of tea." Well, I knew that going in, but she thought she'd give it a try because it gets such good, it's a classic and it's such good reviews as a horror classic. So she tried it out. It's not for her. Uh, okay, I got you, Patrick, about the new guy who makes the videos. Elliot heard a cover version of Now and Then by a band called Apple Jam. Who cares, Elliot? I'm sorry. I bust poor Elliot's chops like that a lot. I don't care, my friend. I don't care. Apple Jam did a version of Now and Then. I know I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm sorry, Elliot. It doesn't interest me, but there's a lot of good information you come up with. Don't get me wrong. I watched Child's Play for the first time. Really enjoyed it. I think the second one is even better. I still have to see those movies. I saw Bride of Chucky. That sucked, but I don't mind seeing the first one. Yeah. All right, we got a lot of people. Thank you all for joining tonight. I'm still wondering if anybody's going to come up here. Two people, it's funny when people very mysteriously disappear and they never want to tell anybody where they are. They just don't come around anymore. Like, I don't mean this in an offensive way because, Tim Allen's my friend and so is Danny. But Tim Allen, where are you? You haven't been around. This happened once before. We had to say, Tim, are you okay? Tim, are you okay, Tim? And then he was like, I'm here. I'm fine. I'm fine. But he just took a break. Fine, you're allowed. But when you have people here that think of you, please let us know how you're doing. And like I said, Danny didn't tell me anything until I texted him. I said, "What's going on, man? Where are you?" And he told me the story he's had with this other house he's taking care of right now. Um, as George says, I don't care anymore. George, music for all four seasons. Hello, hello, hello. What's the good word? And we have a message here. The first Child's Play is the only one worth seeing. No, please don't put a link up here. I don't think you're able to put links up here, but I don't want them up here. Sorry. You know. Yeah, and that's another thing, I this I could just be a rant video one day. you know, I mean, as I say, I'm not a famous singer or musician or anything, but when people say like they're singers or something, everybody sends them demos. check out my demo tape. Check out do you know how many links people want to send me to things to watch? Watch this show, watch that show. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And sometimes these links are pretty damn good, and I'm very grateful. Other times it's like, there's so many things to do. I can't watch all the links, But anyway, but I don't think though, Patrick, that the links come up here, and that's fine with me. The remake of Child's Play was pretty bad. Well, I'd never want to see it. So I've been watching a lot of the classic TV series, the FBI from 65 to 74. A lot of great guest stars. Yeah, that happened. You watch a lot of those shows from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. A lot of guest stars pop in, a lot of interesting guest roles, supporting roles. And it's one of the things to enjoy about it. I read an article about the Gremlins movie. It was considered a horror film at first. I've never seen Gremlins. Never seen Gremlins. The first three Amityville horror movies are really good. What Woodland says. The only one I've seen is Amityville: The Possession. I think it was Amityville 2. I never saw the original, believe it or not. Did you know the Lost in Space robot was repainted white and repurposed on another show before being restored? No, I didn't know that. Night of the Living Dead is the one where he locks the living dead in their house basement. He doesn't lock them he doesn't put them in the basement. One of the guys wants to hide in the basement. The first episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm new season was a good one. I wouldn't know. I don't see any of them until it comes out on physical media. I don't subscribe to all these different things. These days, it seems you got to subscribe to a new channel just for every show you want to see, and I'm not doing that. So I'm going to buy season 12 when it comes out. Joe, do you keep up with comics still? No, I'm not interested in new comics. I'm not interested. I think that, like everything else, I think they're garbage. I think the best ones were the old days. Do you like 10 Years After? I'd have to hear some songs. I think I know a few. Uh, Please don't tell me it's true. No Kid O'Toole at the Beatle Fest. It's true. Kid, unfortunately, her father's very ill. Nothing life-threatening, but he's ill enough that she has to stay and take care of him. So she's not going to be able to make the fest, and that's really disappointing. But we understand. Family comes first. Uh, Sometimes there are diamonds in the rough. A little rough, maybe harsh, dismissing stuff. Like I said, that's my decision. That's my decision. I dismiss what I want to dismiss, and I try out or listen to or give a chance to what I want to give a full chance to. It's my choice. I don't mean, just the way it is. And if I miss something, I miss something. Poor me. And if I happen to see something good, lucky me, I saw it. I don't care. I mean, just the way I am. I mean, right now in life is too short for me to see. I can't see everything. I can't watch it. I can't listen to everything. I can't read everything. So I just involve myself in the things that I want to enjoy. And I don't mean anything nasty by that at all. Rome loves that. I'm just saying. Okay. Okay, Ronster thinks that Woodland Goblin is ageist. He's got a problem with it, older people. Well, Woodland is old himself, but he acts like he's not, right, Woodland? Elliot says, I'm making my return to Fest for Beatles fans. The last time I went was when it was in Secaucus, which is a lot of years ago. So, yeah, Elliot told me he's going to be coming on Saturday. So I'm sure we'll meet up and say hello, you know. Why was it ever explained why Norton on the Honeymooners could afford all the technology of the day? Yeah, it was explained. He's like me. Norton's like me. He just spends the money, and the Honeymooners. Norton spends the money. Ralph is a cheapskate that doesn't want to spend the money. It's not even that they don't necessarily have the money. He just don't want to spend it because he's too damn cheap. And there's people like that in real life too. Norton, on the other hand, will spend the money to get to buy stuff, technology, and television sets, and refrigerators, electric stoves, and all this stuff. He does it. However, it's revealed that sometimes he's in debt. He has to pay for things on time, layaway, credit. Um, I don't care. The main thing is that you enjoy it. I'm a very staunch believer in that. Very staunch believer in that. That you have to live for today, enjoy yourself today, buy what you want, and have a great time because the next hour, next day is not guaranteed to any of us. Joe, I assume you were a Seinfeld fan. I want to have my own Festivus party. I like Seinfeld. I think it was a good show, but I'm not a fanatic over it. Joe, what age do you consider old? Well, Woodland, I find that changes as you get older. I think a lot of people would agree. Anybody there that's older, I mean, in your 50s or 60s, say, or 70s, would you say that's how it is? You know the story. When you're 20, you think 40 is old. When you're 40, it's not so old. Then you think 50 is old. Then when you get to be 50, you think, well, that's not really old either. 60's old. When you're 60, 70's old. So that's how I feel about it. And there is a saying, you're as old as you feel. You're as old. It's a lot of it's up in here. Hey, some of it's physical too, you know. But at this age, why do I consider old? I wish I could give you a straight answer on that. I really don't know. Now, to me, 70 seems old, a little old, 75, But look at Billy Joel. I think, this is Billy Joel, 75. I saw him giving interviews. He looks like he's freaking 45. And so, one good thing about today is that age is not as bad as it was back then. Have I thought about getting progressive lenses? Well, as I've often talked about, when I first went to get glasses, I got progressive lenses, and I wore them for a day or two, and I hated them. I couldn't get you. I was moving my head around constantly. I didn't like them at all. So I went with the bifocals. I have the distance on top, reading on the bottom. To read here, I got to go like this. I got to look at the bottom. But um, I may try progressives one more time. I may try them. Hey, it's the wax. What's going on, Rob? Rob's of the wax. Am I in army barracks? No, no. I am in a classroom. I'm in an empty classroom. That's where I am. John Moreno says Mo Howard was careful with his money, but Curly and Larry were not. Exactly. Exactly. Joe, is your nephew going to the Beetle Fest? No, he is not. Elliot tells us, yes, which is interesting. Band on the Run, underdubbed version, charted in the UK charts. I think you said it was number 4 or 5. And Mr. Beatles Pro says, you're only as old as you feel. So that makes him 103. You see, that's the other thing. People say you're as old as you feel, but of course, that has to do with how are you fortunate enough to feel. There are some people that are like 40 and maybe they're in a wheelchair, maybe they have a bad back, maybe they walk with a cane. A lot of it's luck. A lot of it's luck. Um, Joe, I'm craving sweets and cookies. What should I do? Don't eat them. Joe, will you be talking to Anthony before the fest? I talked to Anthony just today, actually. I may see him tomorrow. So yeah, and Anthony will be at the fest for one day, Saturday. Andy's got to save the money. He's not gonna splurge for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? No, he'll be there Saturday. Okay, Joseph Mantaneo, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll be seeing you hopefully at the fest. There's a lot of people that want to say hi. I got people like my friend Jeremy, who wants to go out to dinner and eat. And the thing is, there's so many people want to say hello. I don't want to be, I don't mean to make it sound like I'm Elvis. I'm not Elvis Scott. But the thing is, it's like there's a lot of people and a lot of places I got to go. I got to get ordered. I want to get Mickey Dolan's autograph. I want to get some other autographs. I want to see some bands. I may go on the trivia thing. I got to do some shopping in the flea market. I got to go on a panel. I'm doing a talk panel. It's like it's hard to say hi to everybody. Good morning. B side says, "Oh, well, it's a good evening for me anyway." Do you know why the final season of The King of Queens is shorter? No, I don't. Mr. Beatles Pro says he feels 103 because I guess he beat the crap out of himself working. Age is not what it was as then. Remember grandparents and friends' age? We thought they were in their 50s and 60s. Some ladies dressed old, yeah, like dressed as old ladies. Yeah, like if you look at All in the Family, Edith Bunker. Edith Bunker's like in her 40s and she turns 50 in one episode. She's like only in her 40s and her 50s. She's in her early 50s. She looks like she's in her 70s. Archie too. Can I go with Anthony to the guy who curses a lot? Not. We've been there a few times recently. Joe, do you like the Three Stooges episodes where they go out places or when they stay home? Very interesting. I think some of the best Three Stooges episodes are just the Three Stooges staying home around the house, painting the house, doing the plumbing, you know, hanging up pick photos, trying to do electric wiring. To me, the best Stooges are what I call domestic Stooges. The domestic Stooges are the best. When they're in the old West, when they go to the West, or when they go to the medieval times and stuff like that, or the knights or any of that. That stuff doesn't interest me as much. Someone gave me a Beatle Fest 74 original poster. I should get that framed. Yeah. Joe, do you win anything if you win the Beatles trivia contest? Yeah, they have some prizes on the side, and some of them are good. I mean, they're posters and stuff like that. And I've gotten some posters there that are like good promotional posters, and not bad. I saw the episode where Archie says goodbye to the meathead. It was really sweet. He came a long way. Yeah, I gotta say that's what's good about Archie. When you watch that show, he winds up getting a little more sensitive, a little bit more of a real person, and that continues even when you watch like stuff like with the episodes with the kid Stephanie, when he's got to like mind the kid, and later on Archie Bunker's place, he gets a lot more mellow. Archie. Did you know that Jackie Gleason was considered instead of Carol O'Connor for All in the Family? I don't think I've ever heard Jackie Gleason, although I could see Jackie Gleason doing that role. But I personally I heard Mickey Rooney was going to be Carol O'Connor's role, Archie Bunker. Two good shows that I missed. I never saw that first show that you're mentioning, Din Djarin, Lara. And Route 66, I'm not wild about either. Well, that one I saw, I'm not wild about. Did you like the Three Stooges movie that came out around 2011? I don't remember what year it was. 2010, maybe. I actually liked that movie. I was very surprised. I thought they did a good job of bringing the Stooges into the modern era. Yeah, I actually didn't mind that one. I would like to compete with you, Joe, Saturday at the Beatles trivia. So you are going, eh, Richard? I'm going with my 7 kids, and they would all like to stop and say hello. Oh, get out of here. Yes, some Three Stooges scenes were filmed on the streets of Los Angeles, and some of those buildings are still there. This is true. This I heard too. Mike Bass says Carol O'Connor was up for the role of the skipper on Gilligan's Island. Yes, I heard that. Joe, you should pick up the Norman Lear DVD box set. You would love it. It has so many things, so little time. So much time, so little care. Elvin says, Joe, your blooper at the end of the last video with Anthony reminded me of Abbott and Costello layaway skit. Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. I decided to leave the bloopers in for that. Yeah, that was an extra bonus of my new Anthony video. I had fun. And that's true, Eddie, right? Jackie Gleason did not like to rehearse. Yeah, he didn't want to rehearse. Yeah, Mike says, yeah, I love the blooper too. I always wonder how long it takes to complete those skits. Well, a lot of times things I record, Mike, they're just as it happens. A lot of them just happen that way. But sometimes we have to orchestrate something, organize it a little bit. Like, I don't want to give the impression that it's all fake because it's not. Not, and 85% of it, probably 85% of it is, as it happens, whatever happens. But sometimes we do a routine. Anthony's bacon looked perfect. You eat it, buddy. You eat it. If I'm going to eat bacon, it's going to be a little on the soft side so I can chew it a little bit. I don't like crispy bacon. How much would a clean pressing of, say, American Rubber Soul set me back? I don't know. It depends on who is selling it and how much they're selling it for. I really don't know. Depends. I wish I could give you an exact answer, but I cannot. I cannot. Yep. What's a good word, folks? Um, Push the like button, people. You said it, John Moreno. Push the like button. Thumbs up. My grandpa and Jackie Gleason were both from Brooklyn, the same age, so much alike, even in looks. Are the vinyl overpriced at Beetle Fest like anything else? Some of them are way overpriced, some of them not. You just pick and choose what fits your budget. You know. I know it's a common sense question, but I think that question kind of like earns you a poke in the eyes. I think so. Let's do that. Okay. Sorry. Hmm. Oh, oh. Will Tom Agnotti be at the Beetle Fest? Yes, Tom Agnotti will be at the Beetle Fest. Unless anything changes between now and the weekend, which these days nothing surprises me. So I'm looking forward to videos if Joe, meaning me, ever gets a table and purges his records. Yeah, that's the best way to do it, but I don't think I'm going to go that long, that far. I don't think so. I got more records I'd like to purge between now and Friday. I got 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, to do that. Go back to the store I went to, sell them, get some moolah. Yep. Woodland says, looking for a butcher cover. Did you know Richard Carpenter has a museum of cars in California that people can see called Yesterday Once More? Yeah, that I didn't know that, but I know what that's about. That's the song Yesterday Once More. Look at this, Mix 64 says, I think I'm due to donate again. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate your generosity. Hey, anybody else feel generous? Be my guest. It is never a requirement. Never, never a requirement, but it's always appreciated. So I thank you for helping out. Anytime you can help out, I appreciate it. Life's tough enough for all of us, all of you too. Money is tough these days, let's face it. Yes, Tom Hunyadi said he was going to the fest early on Thursday to help set up. That's true. This is true. Do you think that the draw that inspiration causes in an artist to write a song can be just ignored without consequences like Billy Joel did for so many years? Bet he has a lot of songs written down. I thought Billy Joel had said that he ideas were not coming to him, and he wasn't really thinking. He wasn't inspired. I didn't feel much like writing, and he didn't have anything to say. Now he did. That's what I thought. I thought that he did not have songs written, and he did not have any inspirations last 30 years or so. Oh, that's everybody's mind. Let's go. Help out, folks. I'm running out of subjects on my own. I got my swivel, my chair on wheels here. Wow, go back pretty far. Movie chat tomorrow night, you're asking. Oh, that's a good one. Well, I know Tom Hagnati's not going to be able to make the movie chat. And right now, I don't know if Tim can make the movie chat because I haven't heard from Tim. Tom told me he's not going to be able to do it because he's preparing for the Beetle Fest. So he's not going to be there. And Tim Allen, like I said, I haven't heard. Nobody knows what he's like disappeared again for a while. Hopefully everything's okay. And he might say, "What do you mean disappeared? It's only been a day or two." But Henry, it's funny. Hello, Henry. I haven't seen you in a while, Henry. That's weird. You don't show up as much as you used to. But so only one panel at Beetle Fest for Joe. That's it. I'm just doing one talk or talk. That's it. Those movie chats were going good. Maybe the week after. Oh, with the movie chats, yes, they've been going very good, and I really hope we'll continue. If I happen to hear from Tim Allen and he says, "Hey, I'll be there," if I hear from Tim Allen and he says that he'll be there and do a movie chat tomorrow, then I'll do it just Tim and myself. But I don't think I would do one just alone right now. I like to have people there. That's okay, Henry. I just want to make sure everything's okay. That's all. That's okay. Billy Joel, Eddie says Billy Joel has a lot of material that's not released, and that's interesting. I didn't think he did. What's it like to see normal? I used to see normally before I wore glasses. I right now I can't see you guys. I can't see nothing. I got to do this and go closer. Ah, what are you gonna do? It's better than the alternative. I mean, Tim Allen is not going to the fest. No. Oh, good for you, Henry. Very good for you with your weight loss thing. Uh, Woodland, watch it, Woodland. I want to give you a timeout. I'll tell you, Henry, when you talk about weight loss, slow is definitely the word, man. Wow. Yeah, you're the cat favorite, huh? Did you hear the Three Stooges test for gender? If you think they're funny, then you're male. If you think they're annoying and stupid, then you're female. Well, they've been saying that for years. It used to be guys like the Three Stooges, women do not. I know women who like the Three Stooges. Yeah, you were a good actor in that short film with your friend. Definitely have potential. Anybody out there want to hire me for an acting role? Please, please. I'll take it. First of all, Henry, you say you have a good metabolism. You're 21 years young. When I was 21 years young, so did I. When I was in my 20s, I lost 70 pounds in 3 months. You know? Did you know that Jason Alexander, aka George Costanza, could memorize 2 pages of dialogue in 10 minutes? Amazing. Yeah, I'm not going to answer this question again, Richard. I was asked this question before. Do you like Scorsese or Coppola? You're probably the one that asked me. If you're a guy, if you're a male, and you say, "Yeah, the Three Stooges are okay," then you're not a real man's man. If you're a real man's man, you love the Three Stooges. What kind of movie would you do if you were an actor? I would love to be on a comedy series. I'd love to have a role like on the King of Queens, like something like that. But at this point in life, I mean, I'll take it now rather than never. But you know, exactly. Mix 64 says when you hit around 35, everything changes. If you look at food, you gain weight. Exactly. Exactly. And where's Doc Dacus? Doc Dacus isn't here either. Doc, are you having spaghetti night? Sometimes on Tuesdays you have spaghetti night, or you can eat spaghetti. He goes out. Do you own more comedy or horror films? Oh, more horror films by far. But I own comedy too. I'd say horror and comedy are probably my two biggest genres that I have. Do you know if Hackney Diamonds got any awards at the Grammys? Yeah, good question. Did anybody know that? Who watched the Grammys? Anybody know if Hackney Diamonds got any award? It should have. That'd be disgrace if it did not. Oh, I didn't hear anything about that. That's a good question. Marx Brothers are hilarious, especially Groucho. The best delivery of comic lines ever. Look, I was never a big Marx Brothers fan. Having said that, in more recent years, I like them a little bit. I do like them now, and I do like Groucho the best. I go along with you. But the thing is, Harpo is even more stupid than the Three Stooges. So for people who think, oh, the Three Stooges are not funny, they're just silly and stupid. It's so dumb. Well, Harpo's as dumb as you can get. However, yeah. Do I like the Chucky movies, Darren? I didn't see them yet, really, except for Bride of Chucky, which I thought sucked. I said that earlier, but I know not everybody was here then. But I'm hoping to see the first one, Child's Play, first one. Which movie do you want, Joe, to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards in March? Godzilla -1. That gives you an idea of what I'm watching. But seriously, yes, Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, died. Yes, yes, I saw the movie Dumb and Dumber. I saw it in the theater when it first came out, but that's many years ago now. You know, definitely. Yeah. What if you were hired in a romance movie or action movie? Would you do it? Oh boy. Yeah, I do it, especially if the leading lady was nice. No, seriously. No, sure. I mean, sure. Why not? But romance it's gotta be tough. Do I like Jim Carrey's movies? I'll say this: I like the movie The Mask. Wow, I'm glad I'm in a good mood tonight. I'm in a good mood. I'm firing everything. Yeah, ooh, let's have a little good discussion. And I'm really enjoying this very much. I'm doing 90 minutes on my own so far. Maybe I'll do the whole 2 hours. I'm going to be on it about 2 hours, hopefully. And doing it without any help from anybody tonight. So, would you rather be in a horror or comedy film? I think a comedy film I'd rather be in. I talked about the Three Stooges movie from 2012 earlier. I thought it was funny. I was surprised. I was surprised that I liked it, and I thought the guy who played Mo was really good. Mo was really the best, and I thought that the Stooges worked very well in modern times. He put him in the modern times, so I was surprised that I liked that movie. It's about the best I could say on that. I'm not going to sing the man. I'm sorry, not going to sing the man, Richard. Nope. Stones was not nominated at the Grammy. The Stones were not nominated for their album Hackney Diamonds. Could it be that it wasn't eligible for this year? That maybe it'll be next year? Could that be? What did I have for dinner tonight? I had Chipotle. Do you know what that is? It was anybody know what Chipotle is? It's like some rice, yeah, it's little pieces of steak and rice and guacamole and that stuff. And I know rice isn't the best thing either, but come on, I'd eat something. Do you like Adam Sandler movies? Well, off the top of my head, I can't think of an Adam Sandler movie that I like. But you know, if you want to act on TV, you're gonna have to move to LA. That's okay. I'll stay right here. No offense. No offense. That's okay. I'll stay right here. All right. Should What a Shame Mary Jane had a pain at the party been included on a Let It Be album? No, but I would have liked it if it was on, say, the White Album. I don't really, I'm trying to think like what period that, if it was 68, if it could have been on the White Album. If it was on anything, I'd like it to be on the White Album. But I don't know, I forget the timing of that. I'm pretty sure that was 68, but maybe too late. I think What a Shame Mary Jane Had a Pain at the Party is a fun song. I kind of think I would have liked it as a B-side. You know how they have You Know My Name, Look at the Number as a B-side? I would have liked What a Shame Mary Jane to have been a B-side or something. I probably come. In fact, I would have preferred Mary Jane to be a B-side rather than being on the White Album. I would rather it have been a B-side, not an A-side. I'm glad they didn't put Hey Jude on the White Album. It could have been, but I'm glad they didn't put it on there. It's just cool having that as a single. It was a big single. And Hey Jude is like the one thing I remember in real time as a child growing up in the 60s and in the 70s. I remember Hey Jude when it was a hit song. And I saw it on them perform it on the Smothers Brothers. The David Frost show clip that they do, the film. They played it there. Do I like Revolution 9? I don't really enjoy Revolution 9, but when I listen to the White Album in its entirety, I like to hear all of it. I mean, I like Revolution 9 as it sits on the White Album as a whole experiment. Listen to the whole thing. But as separately, I wouldn't listen to I don't care to listen to Revolution 9 separately. No. I would love to see more movies about famous singers' lives. What movie would you love to see based on a singer or actor? Uh, um, I like to see a movie. Well, acting wise, I'd like to see a movie on the life, like a real movie about Boris Karloff. Maybe Universal movies altogether. Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney Jr., like a Universal horror actors movie. Singers wise, Connie Francis. I'd like to see a Connie Francis movie. And the Gene song, yeah, that's a sweet story. I won't tell it again, not for a while. Favorite Neil Diamond song? I like a lot of Neil Diamond songs, but my favorite is "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon." It's my favorite Neil Diamond song. Do you know what more or less has been Paul and Ringo's opinion on Charles Manson through the years? No, I don't. Am I going to see the Bob Marley movie? No. I mean, I like a couple of yeah, Bob Marley's okay, but I have no interest in the movie. Do I like Bob Dylan? Yes, I'm a Bob Dylan fan. I like Dylan. The song "Sour Milk Sea Glen," I hate that song. It's a strong word, hate, but I don't care for that song "Sour Milk Sea." All right, folks. 8:30. We got about a half an hour to go here before I gotta get ready to leave. Yeah. Boop, boop. Do you like "Please Please Me" or "With the Beatles" more? I With the Beatles more. "With the Beatles" is one of my all-time favorite Beatle albums of all time. It's underrated. Who's my favorite actor who played Elvis? Believe it or not, I actually liked Kurt Russell as Elvis. The TV movie Elvis in 78, 79, it's 79. I think he might be my favorite Elvis actor. It's funny, Beatle Eddie says that there should be a biopic of the Beatles, and I should have thought of that when I was asked what kind of movie would I like on a singer or a group or actor. The Beatles, yeah, but it's hard to do that. The Beatles story is such a big, long story. You couldn't do it in a 2-hour movie. Am I going to see Ringo live this year? So far, I don't see Ringo coming around my area this year. I saw him in 2022. Do you like Robert De Niro's character in Jackie Brown? Yeah, it's a decent movie, and I thought De Niro was good in there. Yeah. Sergeant Pepper or Magical Mystery Tour? I prefer Magical Mystery Tour, actually. I prefer Mystery Tour. Do I think Charles Manson had anything to do with the White Album? Not a single thing. Nothing to do with it at all. Any special guests for Mayo's movies on Wednesday? I'm not doing a movie chat tomorrow night, if that's what you mean. Tom Hunyadi is not able to join us tomorrow, so that's no good. And I haven't heard from Tim Allen. We don't know where Tim Allen is. He's been quiet again, so I don't really know. Hopefully, he's okay. But if Tim Allen contacts me somewhere, says, "Hey Joe, I'd like to do the movie show," well, then I'll do it with him. Meet the Beatles is better than With the Beatles, you say? Well, it's hard to say because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on With the Beatles. It's not on Meet the Beatles. Do you think if John Lennon had lived, that the Beatles would have gotten together again. I think they may have gotten together again for maybe one show or something, one nostalgia show or something. I keep saying Live Aid. Maybe they would have done Live Aid. If McCartney announced a show in the New York area, a small theater playing only solo deep cuts, how much dough would you be willing to spend the max for a ticket? Well, I'm not going to answer that. I mean, I have an idea in my mind. But, all right, $100,000. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. What four actors would be the best for a Beatles cinema movie? Four unknown actors. In order to do a Beatles movie, you have to have four English actors. Well, they don't necessarily have to be English. If somebody can do a convincing Liverpudlian accent, fine. But you have to have four unknown actors who look enough like the original Beatles, sound enough like the original Beatles, and make you believe they're the original Beatles. And that's not easy to do. But I don't think any already established known actors should be in a movie like that. Did I like the movie Backbeat? Are you serious? I think I don't know if you're asking me these questions. Richard James is a little bit of a comedian, so when a guy like Richard James, you never know when he's serious or when he's kidding. That's the problem with a guy like this. So I don't know, Richard, but I'll tell you. For those who might be interested, what did I think of Backbeat? I liked Backbeat. What did I think of Nowhere Boy? I did not like Nowhere Boy. I saw an interview with Lennon in '80, and he said he wanted to get back together with the Beatles again, that there was a concert being planned. He never said any such thing. He never said any such thing, Vincenzo. Never. Never said he wanted to get back with the Beatles and there's a concert being planned in 1980. He never said that. And if I'm wrong, wow. Somebody could point out the quote. Well, I'm gonna prepare something for Vincenzo. This is for you, Vincenzo. Are you looking? Look right into the camera. There you go. There you go. Good one, Joe. Yeah, it's funny. If John and George would still be alive, about what date do you think the Beatles would have got back together? It's impossible to know that. It's impossible. I mean, you try to have a good, folks, when you're doing this, you try to have a good nature, la di da, and then you get a question like that. It's impossible. Well, you see, sometimes, Vincenzo, you think you hear certain things. He didn't say anything like that. He never said that. But you might have heard something you thought was like that, but he never said that. Mhm. Yeah. I thought Paul said he discussed it with John, but they just never did it. I don't think so. I don't think so. Did I like Yellow Submarine? I like the music in Yellow Submarine. The music from it. Yellow Submarine, the movie, the cartoon, has never been one of my favorites. Actually. Yes, I've seen Paul live 11 times. Some people have seen Paul 150 times, but literally. Sorry, folks, got a little tickle in the throat. Matchstick Man, what's up? How was the drive this evening? It was the drive here was pretty good. We made good time. The ride home, let's hope it's just as good and there's no traffic. I've never seen the movie Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It's supposed to be so terrible. I never even bothered seeing it, actually, believe it or not. Did I like the airplane movies? You mean the comedies movies? Yeah, Airplane 1 and 2. Yeah, I hadn't seen them in a long time, but I liked the comedies. Henry, I gotta give Henry a this question here deserves a little poke in the eyes, so I'm gonna give it to you. Oh, I no, seriously, he's insane in the sense he likes to have fun. He's a little wild with his videos. That's about it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And with Saturday Night Live, John and Paul both confirmed that they were both at Dakota watching Saturday Night Live that night, which is a miracle in itself. What are the odds of that happening? And both John and Paul separately confirmed that they thought for a split second maybe they'd go, but they did not. Did I like Ringo's star in Caveman? Yeah, I did. I thought it was a pretty funny movie. I thought Ringo was good in there, but I thought he was very comical in that movie. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What's going on? Oh, an hour and 42 minutes. Phew. Would I go in that spinning machine scene in Moonraker? That scene is probably my favorite scene out of any James Bond movie. If you're talking about what is it called? Oh, geez, the centrifuge. I know the one you mean. That's a great scene. Joe, is there an aspect of the fest that you're not looking forward to? Yes, yes. It ending. When it ends and we have to go home. That's the part I'm not looking forward to, the ending of the fest where it's over. What did I think of Elvis's version of Something? I thought Elvis did a decent version of Something. I think Something was a good song for Elvis to sing. I think he did a lousy job singing Hey Jude. And yesterday was not too was should have been better than yesterday it was yesterday. Hey Jude is not a great song to begin with. All right. Hey Jude is not a great song to begin with. I love that. Yeah, yeah, I had it coming with that one. That's an opinion, but I think it's funny. Um, Joe, I paid over $1,000 for fest tickets for my wife, kids, and I. Ticket prices are too expensive. Come on, you're not serious. You're not serious. I don't know when you're kidding and when you're serious, Richard. That's your problem. You know, it's my problem with you. I don't know when you've been serious. Yeah, can you imagine if there was a tape recording when Elvis met the Beatles? There should have been. It's just sad that there's no real account of that. There are no films, really, just, no audio recording. Do I like the actual song part of Hey Jude or the na 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 part more? If I gotta pick, I like the song part, the singing part more. But it all works together nice. Okay. Was there ever a talk about a Beatles reunion among all the Beatles in separate interviews and hints of it that you know of before John's death? All that we know is that at, at different points, I think they said that at different points, some of them, they never all felt like doing it at the same time. There would be some point where John would say, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. And then, Paul would, or George would say, not me, I'm not doing it. That it never was all four of them at the same time in the same mood. At least that's what they said. Hey Jude or Let It Be. If you asked me to pick one, either Hey Jude or Let It Be at this moment, I'd have to pick Let It Be. I think, if I had to pick one. Joe, I'm sure that after you get home tonight, if you come back on, Tim Allen will be awake and come on here. I'm not coming back on. No way. I was on this morning and I'm on now. It's too much. I'm not gonna not come on again later. No. Bad enough that I'm gonna come on tomorrow morning again. Yeah, I'm gonna be here tomorrow morning at probably 7:30 a.m. or thereabouts. Yes, I realize this, Mr. Beatles Pro. I realize it, but I don't. He said he spent $1,000 and all this stuff, so I don't know what's true, what's not. Is Mark Lapidus approachable? It depends on his mood. I've had times where I've been able to approach him very easily. I've had times where he wasn't in the mood. So that's my opinion on that. So I'm being about as honest as I can from my own experience, you know. Uh, do I play an instrument? No, I don't. Do not. I do not. Did you have a bad encounter with Richard Dreyfuss? I wouldn't call it a bad encounter, but in 2009, I met him and he wasn't really, it didn't seem like he really wanted to be there for anybody. And I took a picture with him and he was kind of like, in the picture, he's kind of like that. But then I got to see him again last year and he was in a much better mood and it was much better. Daniel Bean says, "Hey Joe, great to see Robert P on this morning. He has some very interesting stories. His background as a former record shop owner is pretty cool. I enjoyed having Robert P on this morning. It was very good. Check it out. I really enjoyed it. Yes, I know the story of Mark Lapidus when he got John's blessing for the Beatle Fest. It is a great story. He tells it every time, and he should. He should be proud of it. John gave us permission, his blessing for the Beatle Fest. John said, I'm all for it. I'm a Beatles fan too. Great quote. Who was the most impressive rock star you ever met? How many rock stars did I meet? I mean, what do you mean by meet? I don't know. Joan Jett, Joan Jett. I didn't really meet Paul or Ringo per se. Carly Simon, we should call her a rock star. You know, I think was there anybody. If I forgot anybody, I'm really lost. Being that I'm driving home from the fest, do I plan on staying till closing? Maybe. What's your favorite show or the video that you kind of shooting you like to do on your YouTube channel? I wish I could answer that question. What's my favorite show or video that I kind of like to shoot on my YouTube channel? If I'm interested in a topic, I enjoy shooting any video. If I'm just having me on the camera talking about something, like if I get a new release, a new Beatles release, and I'm excited to share it, I'm excited to open it. That's exciting. Um, I like doing just about everything, you know. Sometimes I like a rant video if I'm feeling it from the heart. I'm really annoyed with something and I want to rant about it. A rant video could be good. And I like doing the record store videos. I like editing videos. I like when I have a lot of footage and I have to like try to edit it together to make a little movie out of it. Will you video any of the memorabilia they're selling at the fest? Well, I'll record it. I'll go in there with the camera in the dealer's room and I'll record the memorabilia so you can see it. Oh, I forgot about Pete Best. That's funny. Yeah, Pete Best is a pretty biggie. And Peter Noon, wow, I forget. It's just funny that people have to remind me, man. Yeah, Peter Noon, Gary Puckett, and Union Gap. Yeah, absolutely. Jeez, wow, wow. Do I own a record store? No, I don't. I don't own a record store. Never have. Who do you think is the greatest actor of all time? Not favorite, but best. And you can't say Charlton Heston. Um, that's a question. I don't know. I mean, it's funny when it comes to when it comes to actresses, females. I think that Meryl Streep is the best actress that ever lived. Um, I also like Betty Davis. When it comes to actors, it's funny. I don't really have an actors that I think, oh, what a great actor that is. It's funny, you know. I like a lot of actors. That's funny that I can't come up with one. What can I tell you? Well, there should be. Do I like the Fab Four tribute band? Yeah, they were good. Yeah, a lot of people like Meryl Streep. So you like behind the scenes editing as much as being in front of the camera? Yeah, I do. Both. Yeah. All right, I think I'm going winding down here a little bit, folks. It's a little early, but I guess I went this far. I could go a little longer, but obviously, um, it's getting near the 2 hour mark. Yeah, I agree. I always thought Winona Ryder was attractive, and I would have liked her in Godfather 3. And she's a better actress than Sofia Coppola was at the time, anyway. So, yeah, Robert De Niro's, yeah, but he's nothing to me. Robert De Niro is just all right. Um, okay, well, that's it, folks. I'm going to wind this up now. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate those who made the contributions to help out. And yeah, I don't know. I should be here in the morning, maybe. Because I've been doing these things with my cup of tea in the morning cup of Joe, so I should be around. We'll see how it goes. And as far as doing a movie chat tomorrow, that's highly unlikely. I probably won't do the movie chat on the movie channel tomorrow. But things will resume after the Beatle Fest. 'Cause right now, I am really looking forward to the Beatle Fest, Fest for Beatles fans, really, and getting back into all that. All right. Thank you, Chris. You too. And yeah, everybody, take care.